It's no secret that fast food is unhealthy. It's all over the internet. The science, the statistics, and the growing obesity problem in the US have all confirmed this. But we're not perfect human beings, and obviously there are circumstances where fast food is actually a decent option. For example, long study days. I remember in college when I lived in the dorms, we had a communal kitchen that everyone shared. And someone, not dropping any names, decided to puke in the sink during a rush week. And ever since that, I was like, nope, not cooking here ever. But anyway, since cooking wasn't an option for me during midterms and finals week when all I was doing was studying, fast food was actually the cheapest and the most convenient option. But whenever I eat fast food, I feel gross. Maybe it's just getting older and changes in my metabolism, but that's the scary part. Sometimes we continue poor habits because we don't notice any change. But that doesn't mean they aren't happening behind the scenes. So as a medical student, I was curious about the deeper question. How does my body respond to a fast food diet? And thus, the idea for a fast food experiment was born. First things first, I had to decide what to measure. We already know that chronic consumption of fast foods leads to big problems. But what about the day-to-day changes, the meal-to-meal changes in our energy levels and our productivity level? That sounds like the question I'd want answered the next time I was thinking about getting some McNuggets. Check. Next, I had to figure out, how am I going to measure this? For this, I had to revisit my medical training in metabolic health and nutrition. Anytime we consume food, our internal machinery breaks it down into glucose. So for my experiment, seems like tracking glucose is the winner, Mickey D's dinner. And how am I going to do that? With some fancy tech, CGM. There's this tiny needle that attaches the device to my skin, and I can then use my phone to scan and check blood glucose levels all throughout the day. Now it's time to make my meal plan. I'm not willing to sacrifice my body or my wallet eating fast food every meal for a month. It's already been done by Morgan Spurlock. But then I thought it would actually be pretty cool to see how my body responded to healthy, home-cooked meals. And that way I could compare the data between fast food and a healthy meal. And after rigorous internal debate, a consultation with a smarter man, and several permutations, here's the final schedule. I'll eat fast food at least once a day for the next 30 days. And I'll also eat a healthy home-cooked meal at least once a day during those 30 days. Let's freaking go.
This is what it's all about, fam. Big money.
Hi, I'll have a Big Mac meal, please.
Anything else?
And a 4-piece McNuggets with sweet and sour sauce.
Okay. We currently don't have the sweet and sour.
No, okay. I'll have barbecue sauce then.
They don't have sweet and sour sauce? Oh.
Thank you. You have a good one. Oh, got the goods. It's about to be so good. It smells dank. Can't believe I've never had a Big Mac before.
Pre-McDonald's meal, 81. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good. This is also like the first thing I've eaten all day. So, hey, that's actually pretty good. I could go without the middle bun though. This might be the most Asian thing I've ever done on camera. But I'm gonna be honest, this Big Mac needs some sriracha. Oh yeah. I mean, I get why people like soda. It's really good, but I just figured I have to do the full experience, you know? The burger, the fries, the drink, the nuggets. I just keep reminding myself that this is for science. Anytime we consume food, our internal machinery breaks it down into glucose. Then the pancreas releases a surge of the hormone called insulin, which extracts glucose from the bloodstream so our body can use it. That surge of insulin is what causes a food coma or sugar crash. In medicine, we call this reactive or postprandial hypoglycemia. But not all food is made equal. Some foods, possibly fast foods, cause huge spikes in glucose, which causes a huge surge in insulin and worse food comas. Probably the most severe contributor to the spike was a sugary beverage. I noticed that anytime I paired my fast food with a soda, which I only did on 2 occasions I think, it spiked my glucose way higher than any other meal I ate. And looking at the science, there are two simple reasons why I think this happens. First is that sodas contain high fructose corn syrup, and fructose is really the culprit here. Our bodies don't really know how to handle huge amounts of fructose all at once. Our internal machinery doesn't have a stop mechanism to regulate how much fructose we take in, so we just take in all of it. And the second is that sodas are liquids, so they move through our digestive system a lot faster. When I eat fried chicken or an apple or, something solid, there's only so fast I can go. I can't wolf that food. It takes time for me to chew and digest and break things down to smaller pieces. So because sodas contain high fructose corn syrup and they're liquids, it's like a double whammy. Even at day 1, I already noticed a huge difference in the way I experienced the post-meal slump. Fast food coma was way more sedating than my home-cooked meals. I mean, I was out like a light. It was undeniable how I felt after those meals. Trying to get anything done that required serious concentration or cognitive burden, like obliterating remote flashcards, doing practice questions, creative writing, was next to impossible for at least like an hour after I ate. Honestly, it's pretty good. But it's not how I feel when I'm eating it in the moment. Like an hour later, like yesterday after I ate McDonald's, I had the worst stomach ache shits. I'm gonna be honest, it was bad. But during it, it's satisfying. It's super satisfying. It's just so heavy. There's just so many carbs in this thing. Look at this beast. Here's a snapshot from my Papa John's meal, and this was probably the worst meal that I had because it sent me to Spike City. Like, look how high that is. But you can remember that after we eat a heavy meal, the body pushes out all of this insulin. And you can actually see that it dips below normal before coming back to normal. And that's reactive hypoglycemia. But now if we compare that to one of my home-cooked meals, this is salmon, broccoli, and brown rice, we can see that the spike doesn't go nearly as high. It kind of comes on more gradually, and then it never dips down below the starting point. So there's no reactive hypoglycemia.
That sounds very nice.
A few days into the experiment, I started to implement this new eating habit, especially when I cooked at home. Eat your veggies first, then proteins, then carbs. Some studies have found that the order in which we eat certain types of foods can actually have an impact. Eating low energy, high nutrient foods, like salads, for example, can actually curb the amount of food we eat during that entire meal. So not only is this beneficial for portion control, but it also ensures that we get all of the high nutrient foods first, and then we can indulge on the guilty pleasure stuff at the end. Skinning carrots is so oddly satisfying. It's therapeutic. Like, a lot of people will say that cooking is like really time consuming, but if you like batch cook all your food, then you're actually saving yourself time as opposed to like going out and getting food every single day. And at least with cooking, I get to choose exactly what I want in my meal, exactly how much seasoning to use, and exactly what kind of carbs go in my meals. About halfway through this journey, I had a realization. I order way too much food, and I eat all of it. And it's probably not a good idea to do that. But if you're one of those Cookie Monster people who vacuums everything on their plate regardless of how much is in front of you, eat slower. This has a twofold benefit to your post-meal productivity. First, your insulin spike won't be as high because you're not absorbing all of that fuel at once. And second, you're actually giving your body enough time to release hormones to regulate how hungry you are so you don't eat as much. So I just got back from a night shift in the ED. It's 11 o'clock right now, and I'm really hungry, and I'm way too lazy to make something right now, so I think my dinner night is just gonna be a whole bunch of blueberries, spinach, and almonds, as much as I can eat. Let's go. It's gonna be me tonight. Baby spinach, blueberries, and almonds. Nothing's open. Night shift, man. Unlike carbohydrates, proteins and fats aren't directly converted into sugar when we eat them. They have a more roundabout way of becoming sugar by first going to the liver, which means that in general, I'm speaking broadly here, that fats and proteins don't cause Spike City as rapidly or as robustly as carbohydrates would. Every fast food meal I ate was a majority of carbohydrates. Bread, buns, fried chicken, mashed potatoes, chow mein. Maybe it was my fault for what I ordered, but come on. Pizza is just a ball of dough that's been smushed down. It's just pure carbs. Veggies were sparse or non-existent. So not only was I eating too much quantity of carbohydrates, I was also neglecting the quality nutrients from fruits and vegetables. This is the line for Taco Bell right now. This is unacceptable. Unacceptable. I think this describes perfectly what I think about this experiment. Getting ready for some explosive poops tonight. Why not?
All right, 9:20 for 4.
Cool, thank you. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is the second time I've had Taco Bell this week. 2 times, baby. 2 times in the same week? Crazy. I think Taco Bell secretly might be my favorite fast food because I've gotten it like 4 times already. Crazy thing is that I could feel the difference in these 2 meals on my productivity. Like my productivity post Taco Bell was awful. Aside from the explosive diarrhea, I was sitting on the couch, trying my best to read this new book I got, and I got caught in a loop, reading the same sentence over and over again, trying to understand what it meant. I was feeling the full gamut of symptoms, brain fog, mental fatigue, all the while just sinking a little further into the couch while my eyes got heavier and heavier, and you can imagine what happened afterwards. The brain fog I had after eating a home-cooked meal wasn't nearly as bad. It was still there, to be honest, but I was always able to build enough momentum to overcome the slump and then get back to work. This is the fast food trap, man. I just ordered fast food and there's already an incentive to get another free pizza. Sheesh. Oh, that's a lot of damage here. That's a lot of damage. According to the USDA, the proper portion sizing of a dinner plate should look something like this, with simple or processed carbohydrates comprising only a quarter or less of the meal, another quarter for lean proteins, and veggies and fruits should be about half or more of your meal. At least with home-cooked meals, I can choose my own portion sizes and the ingredients that go in them. Unfortunately, with fast food, this isn't always possible, like I discovered for myself doing this experiment. But anyways, here we are, made it, I'm alive. So yeah, everyone, I think I learned a lot from this experiment. Fast food is convenient and it's inexpensive, but it really didn't do my productivity or my energy levels any favors. Now, I'm not gonna make any dumb promises and say that I'll never eat fast food again, but it's something to keep in mind, especially if you're studying late at night for an important test tomorrow, or you have a meeting coming up, or a long day at work, where you need to be very mentally focused and alert. If If you want to put your best foot forward, maybe rethink eating fast food right before. I just want to reiterate that this video is in no way medical advice, just me sharing some practical insights based on my experiment. The big caveat with metabolic health in general is that it affects all of us differently. If me sacrificing my body for this experiment wasn't enough to motivate you, then definitely check out my brother's video for another take. He did it first, not gonna lie, so I copied him, but you can find that somewhere right here.